The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use Impero to create a block list. Oftentimes, there are resources or sites that our students visit on a frequent basis that we don't necessarily want utilized during class time or on classwork. If you only want to block a specific site, topic, or keywords, or a few of them, then a block list is probably the ideal option. When creating a block list, you can either create a block that you will use once, or a block list that can be saved, scheduled, and reused. First, we will create a single-use block list. The first thing that you must remember is to select the name of the group that you want to apply the block to by left-clicking on the name of the group. I have selected the O'Gorman High School G106 Computer Lab, and I know that it is selected because it is now highlighted in orange. Once you see that it is highlighted in orange, you can right-click on the name of the group, and then in the shortcut menu, click on Block List. The block list dialog box is broken up into three sections. The section on the right, called Blocked Applications, will probably not be used because our students are using Chromebooks and not utilizing multiple applications. The first column in the box contains the list for blocking a browser window, and the middle column contains the list for blocking a website. With the first option, if a student tries to access a site that is blocked, the entire browser window will close. With the middle option, if a user tries to access a site that is blocked, he or she will receive an error message that the site is blocked, but the browser will remain open and they can go to another site. So we are going to set up this list in both ways. You'll notice at the bottom of each list that there is a text box that you can enter the information that you want to block. I'm going to apply a browser block for the game 2048. Now we could add the block to the specific site, play2048.com. However, because there are multiple routes to access this game, only blocking the one site would be ineffective. The alternative option is to block any site that contains the number or the sequence of numbers 2048 in the title. To do this, I would need to enter 2048 in the text box, and once I hit add, the number will display as an item in the blocked windows list. You'll notice that the number 2048 is wrapped in asterisks. It's important that it is wrapped in asterisks because it means that it will catch any sequence of the number 2048, even if there are other items or numbers or letters before or after 2048. Therefore, it will catch play2048.com, 2048game.com, abcyeah2048.com, and all other variances. I'm also going to apply a website block. So remember that this means the student will receive an error message if they try and access the site. The error message will say that the site is unavailable because of an Impero block. I'm going to apply the block to SparkNotes. So in the middle box, in the text box down at the bottom, I'm going to type www.sparknotes.com and I'm going to click Add. That will add that website as a blocked website to the blocked list. You will notice that automatically that website is also wrapped in asterisks. Once I hit OK, the block will be applied within a minute or two to all students that are signed in to the Chromebooks or the computers based on that group. When creating a block list like this, it is essential that you remember to remove the block list at the end of the period to prevent any access issues to students in subsequent periods. The easiest way to remove the block list is to right-click on the name of the group, hover your mouse over block list in the shortcuts menu, and click on Clear Block List. This will allow students to fully access all material again. The second option that we have, and probably the preferable method, is to create a saved block list. In order to do this, you'll need to right-click on the name of the group. So again, I'm going to use the G106 Computer Lab. And in the shortcut menu, I'm going to go to Advanced Policies. In the Advanced Policies box, you'll notice in the top right-hand corner that there's an option to click on a white plus sign. It also has the word Add next to it. Once you click on that box, a new policy dialog box will be created, and you will have to give the policy a name. It's really important that you add your name to the policy name. So in this case, I'm going to create a block list called Johannesson Games. The reason that we ask that you add your name to the policy name is that it will alleviate a lot of confusion, as all users will see this block available to apply to their groups. Then I'm going to make sure that the block detect policy is selected, and again, I know that it's selected now because I've clicked on it and it has turned orange. Then I'm going to hit OK. Now you will need to scroll down through the list of policies to find the one that you just created. It will most likely be at the very bottom of the screen. I found mine, Johannesson Games, and it currently shows that it's disabled. When I click on Johannesson Games, you'll notice that in the block information column, which is on the right-hand side, there currently is nothing in there. And so what we need to do is we need to add information as far as what we actually do want to block. You'll notice that this column has its own add option. So I'm going to click on the add, which will bring up the opportunity for me to add and edit policy items. In the top box, this is the text box where we actually type in the information of what we want to block. Now this could again be a specific URL or similar keywords for blocking. Again, I'm going to create a block for 2048, but in this case, I will need to wrap my 2048 in asterisks manually. So I'll do asterisk 2048 asterisk. Then you'll notice that there's this option in the middle that says, what would you like to block or detect? By default, a window caption is toggled on. We want to continue to leave that toggled on. Then you'll notice that we have the option that says a written word or phrase or a website URL or address. If you choose a written word or phrase, it will apply a browser block, meaning that if the student does type anything in with 2048, it will close the browser. If you select a website address URL, it will add a website block, meaning the browser will remain open, but the students will receive a message that that particular website is blocked. So that is how you differentiate between closing the browser or just giving the error message. In this case, I'm going to say I'm a website block. So although I'm using specific keywords, I'm going to apply the website block so that the browser will remain open and the students will merely receive the error message that they won't be able to access that particular site. Then I'm going to hit add and X out. You'll notice then in the block list that 2048 is turned on, and we know it's turned on because it has the green dot. I'm going to add 2 additional blocks. I'm going to add one for shell shockers. Again, I'm going to add it as a website block. And then I'm also going to add one for Y8, also as a website block. And in all cases, notice that I wrapped it in asterisks. And I'm going to add that. Once you close out of the Edit Add Policy box, you will return to the Advanced Policies dialog box. You will notice that our policy will show up in the list of available policies, like mine shows Johannesson Games. If the policy is selected, you'll see all the triggers for the policy listed in the right-hand column, and to the right of the policy name, you will notice the current status of the policy. By default, the policy is disabled. In order to enable it, you will click on the drop-down box and click Enabled. This will go into effect quickly, probably a minute, and will impact new tabs and windows as well as those tabs and windows that students have up when the policy is enabled. It is very important to remember to go back into policies and disable the policy at the end of the period to prevent any access issues in subsequent periods. If you want to schedule the policy, make sure you watch the separate tutorial video called Scheduling a Policy. If you have any questions or concerns or need more help, please don't hesitate to contact the help desk or myself, and we'll be happy to do what we can.